It's a super show. Maybe I'll put an echo there. A CU Podcast Super Show.
That'd be good.
For Thursday, April 13th, 2023. Super Ian.
Super me.
Sidekick Pat. On the show that is super, we're going to talk about stuff that's pretty cool. Not so cool. E3 news. Nintendo news. Funko Pop news. Larry update. WWE sale. Why is my voice going up? Super Mario movie. All that and more.
You sound like a frustrated Tommy.
Did you have fun recording that? We had a blast. Go check it out if you haven't seen our first special of us responding to the Tommy Tallarico.
I mean, fun is interesting choice of words. It was amusing because he really just repeated himself for fucking 55 minutes. There was a point, I would say, at the like 1 hour and 10-minute mark of us doing that.
You notice you started to lose your mind?
I mean, I was ready to fucking put a pen through my ear or something.
But Ian, what if someone said my book was $100?
I don't know, man. You fucking move on.
You only brought that up like 4 times just in that video.
Just fucking suck it up.
The highly edited video, by the way, which means the original cut was probably twice as long.
Anyway. Speaking of Tommy Tallarico adjacent news.
Oh, we have adjacent Tommy news?
E3 has been canceled. Probably because he presented at the last E3. That's
Tommy Tallarico killed E3.
He killed E3
in 2021. Anyway. That was 2 years ago.
Oh my Jesus Christ. But yeah, E3 is finally canceled. This is, a bit older news, but it's worth mentioning because this is what Pat and I have kind of been saying.
We said this 6 years ago.
Forever. And I understand that people like events, but E3 just ceased having a purpose.
And then the death was hastened by COVID, obviously.
COVID hastened it, but I mean, it was just for years. Nothing. People were cutting out of going. I just think the whole idea of a one-time-a-year trade show doesn't matter anymore in the internet age. It just doesn't.
No.
You can do tons and tons of small updates, and I know people enjoyed it and had
social
fun.
media made more than internet age, basically. You're saying
Sure.
The instant news.
The internet started, and then just the acceleration of how quickly we can obtain information.
Social media. Twitter, Facebook news, YouTube, yeah.
I'm not saying people couldn't enjoy it or couldn't find it fun, but it's just there was at some point it was going to realize that there was no money in it for it anymore, and it was going to have to collapse. The information comes to us in different ways now and too fast.
Well, first you had Nintendo saying we ain't interested, and then Sony and Microsoft were like, we're not interested. Ubisoft said we're not interested. At that point, there's no money.
When Ubisoft says they're not interested in your trade show, that's...
Why you think Ubisoft?
I just feel like Ubisoft would be like the last company to stop going to a trade show.
Really, more than like EA or Activision.
EA, Activision, and Ubisoft, they all kind of they all go together in the same cheese ball.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta find the announcement.
I don't think Ubisoft is any better than the other two. That's for sure.
Do we have the announcement, like the wordage, because it's kind of douchey what they said? Synopsis.
No, I don't think we do. E3,
ESA and Reed Pop, who they do a bunch of other events like the PAXs. They announced the cancellation. This was March 31st. That was 2 weeks ago. This was a difficult decision because of all the effort we and our partners put toward making this event happen. But we had to do what's right for the industry and what's right for E3. Okay, said Kyle Marsden-Kish,
like a sick horse that they have to put out of its misery.
Global VP of Gaming, Reed Pop, in a statement. We appreciate and understand that interested companies wouldn't have playable demos ready. Oh, is that why? And that resourcing challenges made being at E3 this summer an obstacle they couldn't overcome. Okay,
what was that?
Kyle, I think that's a reach. I think that's a reach. What it really is that they're not planning their dev cycle around E3.
You. Right.
Because they realize you're useless at this point.
Yeah, there's no reason to crunch and have that.
Yeah. Nintendo...
There isn't a print cycle anymore. They don't have to have that information in your hands in June to have it out in the magazines, in time for the marketing season in September and October. They can just do it in September or October.
We were going to talk about the Zelda trailer, but that literally dropped today, the new Zelda trailer.
I don't really want... I personally don't want to know anything about this new Zelda trailer.
What do you mean you don't want anything to know about it?
I don't. I'm going in blind.
I thought you said you don't care about it. You weren't going to play it.
I'm not. But Vonnie is, and I want to watch Vonnie play it. That's where
okay.
I'm excited. I'm not going to play it.
You got Link.
I'm going to watch it.
You got Link and a Master Sword.
Fuck yeah.
And Zelda and characters coming back.
Great.
I mean, it's the same world as the other one. What spoilers do you...
I just don't want
to. It's an awesome trailer. Let me tell you something about these two trailers. People, I still cry when I watch.
When was the last one?
Last what game?
No, the last trailer.
3 months ago.
That's right. Okay.
Something like that. 4 months ago, the teaser or whatever. This is an amazing trailer. Nothing's ever going to top that trailer that ended the Nintendo presentation of all the Switch games, where people were like, "Where's Zelda?" Then they closed the show with that, and people were like crying.
Oh,
it was never. Nothing's ever going to be as good as that, right? This was an awesomely cut trailer. The music is fantastic. The voice acting, which I had problems with on Breath of the Wild a little bit here and there, like the old woman did not sound old at all, which bothered me. It sounds better. This might be a better game. Like they might have learned. It's been 6 years since the last game came out. They probably learned a bunch since then. Well, and optimized more, and so like this might.
I think everyone thinks it's going to be better. I think it was Derek Alexander who made a tweet earlier that I read, and he was just like, "I loved the original game." He's like, but a lot of the parts of it felt tech demo-y. Just like how things interacted and stuff like that.
Drop the stone over there for no reason.
It was tech demo-y in a way that showed you all this cool stuff you could do, but they hadn't like really.
It wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun, or not all of it was fun, right?
It wasn't fun when like, oh, come to this puzzle and use your tablet to like telekinetic move something. And it's like that's cool, but it's not actually fun.
Sure.
And this would probably get over that hump.
I think his whole point was like, some people don't want like a direct sequel; they want something new. But I think his point was like, no, we had a really good thing going in the first one, but like that wasn't its ultimate form. Like we can make that better.
That's why I'm kind of, before we go back to the death of E3, that's why I'm kind of scared that if they do a new Mario Kart, like you don't have to reinvent the wheel, pardon the pun, because that's a perfect game. The current Mario Kart.
Yeah,
you don't have to add. Don't put another racer behind it like Double Dash. Like just new courses. New vehicles and shit, like that's fine.
Don't add like fucking water.
Yeah,
don't add like boats.
This isn't Diddy Kong Racing.
Right. Just
don't need
make
that.
Mario Kart.
Add more, maybe like playable characters that are driving around.
More
like,
characters.
Fine.
You can even.
Give me an edit mode.
You can mess with the controls a little bit. You can add new parts to make the control. Like make it so that everyone doesn't go into it already knowing the meta game. With like what the best loadouts and stuff is. Make people learn. stuff again.
Rebalance.
But I would still keep it right about where it's at. But yes. Rebalance.
Yeah, just that's all. Because I guess nowadays it was pricey, so everyone's using the sponge wheels or whatever because they figured out
everyone uses these stupid tiny fucking wheels.
I hate those.
Yeah, I hate them.
Yeah, I hate them. Nerf the tiny wheels.
Literally, like I think for a lot of or a certain weight class, like the best is it's like a baby buggy. Or it's like a little Bowser car and they use like tiny wheels on it.
Is it better acceleration or handling?
I don't know, but every time I race and I see all of those, I'm like, they look so stupid and I hate them.
Yeah, let's bring some style back in here.
Yeah.
Nerf the ugly cars. Back to E3 being dying. I saw there was in this IGN report here by Rebecca Valentine. Is that a game character from Resident Evil? No. It's like a combination of two names. There's a Valentine, right? It says...
It's Jill.
Two sources have confirmed the IGN, the organization, announced the cancellation via an email sent out to its members today. I didn't get an email. I was a journalist. I went to 3 E3s in a row. The email said that while E3 remains a beloved event and the B word, Ian, brand. E3 is a beloved brand. That the 2023 version simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of our industry. Why do you think there was no sustained interest? Because it doesn't matter anymore. It is what it is. It is what it is. And these organizations are part of the ESA technically. They contribute to it.
Right.
And they don't need it. It's just like,
absolutely not. No.
They're like, no, we don't need to give all money to this nebulous group that for no reason to show these games off. We'll just put out a YouTube video. And there you go. We'll reach more people. That's it. And yes, I loved going to E3 those few years. It was cool to I think one time I walked to Hulk Hogan and said, "How you doing, Hulk?" And he goes, "Good, brother, I'm doing good." I talked to Hulk Hogan for a second. I told you that. He was limping along. I felt bad for him. It was like he couldn't walk.
Did he spout out some slurs?
Was that about the time he got in trouble for that?
Probably.
Like 10 years ago, like 2012. Vern Troyer, I saw. Remember, rest in peace, Vern Troyer. Mini-Me and the Awesome Power movies on a little go-kart thing, was wheeling around there. There's the first time hanging out with Rue, and Rue not knowing what a 2600 was at the retro video game museum, the video game history museum display, before they even had a physical space.
Well, Doom and Jurassic Park are very similar games. For
E3 was great for all those things.
Yeah.
So, but
I miss you, Rue.
Miss you, Rue. Come back to us, Rue. You're probably preparing for summer theater or spring theater right now. Like E3 was great for memories like that, but you don't need those are like my best memories of E3.
You can make good memories in similar situations elsewhere. Find another convention. Go.
My best memories had nothing to do with the modern games. Like the museum had nothing to do with the modern games. It was cool to see John Harding and Sean Kelly and Joe Santulli put together the museum stuff and showing the Atari Cosmos stuff. Like, that was cool shit that had nothing to do with modern gaming.
Yeah.
And honestly, that display probably cost them a ton of money to do that, to garner interest, to get money to fundraise to do the physical museum, which I will get there this year. This is the year I finally go. I will try to go a day early to Retropalooza and see the museum. Because it's within driving distance.
Yeah.
I should get there at some point.
That would be cool.
Anyway.
I
haven't seen Joe in forever. Hope he's doing well. Love Joe. Digital press store.
All right. Well, we got through E3 and Legend of Zelda. Nintendo is apparently.
I didn't know you didn't want to know anything about the trailer at all.
Oh, I mean, whatever. It's fine.
There's like a tank in it or something. There's like
Patrick, shut your mouth.
I don't. You feel too comfortable telling me to shut up.
I already told you what I didn't want to hear.
But we're gonna have Super Mario spoilers later, so just get over it. I mean, we're gonna get there.
Oh, well, yeah, that's gonna happen.
Nintendo announced a couple days ago, April 11th. Makes all the sense in the world, and this is gonna be a lot easier for them to manage this shit. And plus, this is gonna piggyback to their pulling out of competitive gaming crap, because Nintendo said we're going to do it all ourselves because we don't have to worry about weird child predators in any of these communities and shit happening that they had all the news that we saw. We're going to manage all this ourselves. Nintendo announcing Nintendo Live 2023, an in-person event for fans of all ages that will take place in Seattle this September.
That's the other thing that can be said about E3. None of these companies really want to share the stage with other companies anymore. They'd rather have the spotlight on them.
Sure, makes sense. Experience Nintendo Switch gameplay, live stage performances. Sounds like what they used to do at E3 with the Clubhouse Live shit they used to do, or Treehouse Live.
Treehouse was just, I think that was like a booth where they were constantly like demoing and testing
stuff.
They
were like they live stream and stuff.
Exactly.
Live stage performances. Well, that's interesting. Tournaments. There you go. This could be now like the yearly big Smash Brothers thing potentially, or one of the big ones. Photo ops and more. So September, which is interesting because that's usually around when PAX. Used to be PAX Prime. PAX West is usually around August, September, and that's also in Seattle. So that's going to be some competitive thing there. When is it this year? Now I'm kind of curious. PAX West 2023. Now I'm curious when it's going to be. October 6th to 8th. Wow, it's later than usual. It's usually like it's usually around Labor Day. So they push it to October this year. Interesting. No, September 2nd. Wait, which one is it? I'm looking at, there's like 5 different PAXs now. There's now, let's see. Can the website load for me? It's a huge website, PAX West. Where is the dates on here? Okay, yeah, it's September 2nd. September 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So it is around there. So the October must be the one that might be the one actually in Texas they do now. San Antonio, I think it is.
Jesus, I forgot they even do one down there.
And then they do one in Australia. There's like 5 of them now. So there you have it. So they're gonna be competing with that. Nintendo.
Well,
it's like Disney doing their own D23 event right now because they don't need Comic-Con. They just do their own shit. Like, what's the point?
Right. And I mean, I think that, the people who... I think it's going to be a big draw, at least for journalists.
I would be interested if it was like... No, it's actually not a far flight. It's like 3 hours to Seattle. No, 2.5. I would be interested in checking it out. Just if it's fun. Tournament. I can get into a tournament, maybe. Set up an NES tournament. Nintendo, I'll enter it.
Play the Punk.
Play the Punk Challenge.
Play the Punk bracket.
I can donate my games to be shown off there. And, I offer to do that for the NWC 2015, they didn't care. I said, hey, I can donate my games just to show off or whatever. Just to have something. They didn't care. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not bitter at all about that.
No, you don't sound bitter at all about it.
I honestly don't care. I do have one of the standees from Best Buy. I mean, I bought it, but Funko Pop news. You know, the latest and greatest in Funko. We're the latest. You're the latest and greatest and resin toy junk here.
So,
they're not even toys, which we'll get into.
This was kind of announced a little while back, but I have a bone to pick with it. So Funko. Your favorite designer of garbage toys that all look the fucking same and have no soul.
Well, now they have different shaped heads finally, so that's good.
I mean, barely.
There's they're a little more customized than they used to be.
Well, I mean, every once in a while they would do like an interesting head sculpt. Like I have a Benson from Regular Show. It's a gumball machine with like a clear head and balls in the like little gumballs.
I thought you meant Benson the sitcom soap spinoff. That would have been awesome.
Oh my god,
that'd be an awesome Funko Pop. I get that. I was like Robert Guillaume, whatever his name is, Guillaume, the French name.
However, they're everywhere. They grow like weeds, and now they're throwing $30 million of Funko Pop toys in the trash. I actually heard initially that it was a larger number. Maybe that's just what's going in the trash, because they had $250 million in inventory that did not sell last year. And now it's costing them more money to keep it stored than it is to just throw it all away.
I'm surprised they don't own their own warehousing. That they rent out huge spaces. It's a big company. You think you buy your own. I'm surprised they don't.
I mean, it probably isn't rent. It's probably like we need to make newer stuff. We need room, and we need room, and this is costing us money because we can't. Yeah, we overproduced.
That's what happened with Atari.
It's exactly an Atari situation.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's more or less. Yeah, we don't have the room to it as well. So it'll be a nice tax deduction, I guess.
But that's a great indicator of people losing interest in Funko Pops. I honestly think Funko Pops was...
I thought it would have been done by now. I was shocked.
What I was going to say was Funko Pops, I think, are similar to bring it back to something we know more about.
We know nothing.
Similar to NES games. In that NES games were I'm just saying in terms of the
value loss?
They were going out of popularity. And I think Funko Pops were dwindling in popularity too, right as we kind of hit
the pandemic.
And the pandemic gave everything that was on a decline a boost, because people may have seen that stuff sitting around in their home and that interested them more to get back into. Oh, I've got nothing else to do. These Funko Pops are cool. I'll buy a bunch more.
$10, $15 Funko Pops and start.
So people were presented with a situation where, like, the stuff that they weren't interested in anymore, they couldn't ignore. They had to confront what they were around all the time, and they probably got back into it, just like NES games and stuff. And NES games make sense because it gives you something to do at home.
They can play the damn things.
Right. So I think a lot of that was buoyed by the pandemic, and I think they got a longer life because of the pandemic. What's worse, though, and I think this also says a bunch about their financial situation, is they bought Mondo Records and gutted it. They gutted it. They gutted the ownership. They shut down their poster division and basically laid off everyone who worked there. And that fucking sucks, because I loved Mondo. Mondo was really good to its artists. They always did great editions of vinyl. They put out some of the best video game soundtracks. The Katamari Damacy soundtrack that I have from them is just an amazing press. They were high quality, and the thing is there was some crossover between Funko collectors and Mondo collectors, and this is a whole bunch of bad will that they were not expecting.
Okay.
So they're not in great shape. I mean, acquiring companies and then gutting them, they tried to grow and expand way too quickly.
Well, according to the CNN Business article here, your source for Funko News, from Nicole Goodkind, their revenue increased in 2021 by 58% from 2020. 58%. It went up to $1 billion in net sales in 2021. $1 billion.
So yeah.
They probably figured, hey, this is going to continue forever. So they probably produce a lot more in 21 and 22. And then realize, oh shit,
I just don't know how any of these companies thought that the COVID boost was going to equate to long-term sales.
I don't think people care. They just
No, they didn't. I mean, that's it.
The people higher up making the decisions are just like, hey, this is going to last forever.
Or they know it's not going to, but they want to make as much as they possibly can in that moment before they get sent out the window in a golden parachute.
Yes. Well, they're not going to get fired probably. They still have massive profits. But they're more like, yes, hey, even if we produce a lot just in case. That's what Atari did. We'll produce a ton of Pac-Mans, more than what the systems are, or cheese. We'll produce more just in case. Not realizing they can awfully backfire. Well,
making a bet on a 1-to-1 adoption rate is insane.
Well, yeah, that was those. They were just fucking doing drugs.
That was absolutely insane.
That's.
I mean, what's the? We've looked it up before. What's the best attachment rate ever to a game console? I think it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Might be, or Mario Kart Wii.
Okay, that would make sense too. Sure.
And that was
not counting a pack-in, obviously.
Yeah, not counting pack-in. I think Mario Kart Wii is like 30 to 40% of the 100 million Wiis or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways,
but that's like under 50% still. That's the point,
right?
Like how many Mario Kart Wiis sold? No, let's look it up. I believe that's it. Like it's Mario Kart Wii. I mean, it might be Animal Crossing now. Remember Animal Crossing?
Well, I know that there was a time. Okay, so Mario Kart 8 Deluxe attach rate was at
the time.
Q1 2022.
Of 22, okay.
It was 48.18%.
So half the people that own a Switch.
And I think that was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then Animal Crossing, I think, was briefly over 50% for a while. But let me see.
There.
Crossing New Horizons.
It used to be, Mario Kart Wii sold 37 million. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Back then.
Sure.
Phenomenal. So that probably had the record for a long time.
For New Horizons, this is from 2021. 39% was the attach rate.
So
then.
we'll just say if you get to 40%, that's amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
That's incredible.
Your rare,
yes,
your rare outlier like Mario Kart 8 is going to make a dash at 50, but it's, I mean, nothing hits 50.
Yeah. So they were nuts. Obviously, they were fucking insane.
Yeah,
they were insane.
Well, we'll talk more about Atari later.
Yeah, we'll get to Atari later. They don't learn lessons apparently.
So anyway, that's Funko's situation. It's gross. I can't support that. It's like you're literally, when you buy a Funko Pop, you're just buying a future plot in a garbage dump. It's just you're buying a carbon footprint. It's the definition of just wasteful fucking consumers.
Yes,
and I have a couple.
Okay,
but like,
and people are going to say, well,
they're collecting of it.
They're going to say that's everything.
Sure, fine,
sure, but people don't buy Funko Pops except to stack them. They don't play with them. They don't take them out of the box and display them. They don't put like the accessories on them, and like they're stackable. They're weirdly stackable items.
Boxes. Yes.
They come how people buy, consume them, and collect them. That's not how anything else works like that.
Yeah, they literally buy them in a box and then put them down.
They'll have a stack room of them.
Because the people who get serious with them don't unbox them.
And you're going to say, yeah, Pat, you have a bunch of them. Yeah, I can play these fucking things. Even if they're dusty, they have a use to them. That's the difference. They hold entertainment. Funko Pops hold misery. At the end of the day, that's what they hold.
To bring myself down a notch.
Bring yourself down a notch, Ian.
When Funko Pops first started, there were a couple that like before you could literally get anything you wanted in a Funko Pop.
Remember Mighty Mugs? I had a Mighty Mug.
I had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, and I think I have an Alien one and a Predator one.
Back when they were quaint, when they were still first year or so.
And then it's like you're watching them, and then you're like, they all look the same, which we knew. But then like you just started seeing them release like the most random ass characters, and then you started to know the people who got really into Pops. And you go from the person who had a couple kind of like decorating an area to the person who has like square footage dedicated to boxes and boxes of Pops, and they're not on display. That's the other thing.
I just think it's really interesting how people don't care about history. It's the exact same playbook as Beanie Babies. The exact same playbook as Beanie Babies.
Yes.
Exactly. We're going to create artificial scarcity for some of these. We're going to have exclusives you can only get at certain places. That's exactly what Beanie Babies did to a T.
So a story I didn't mention that also annoyed me about this shit. When I was at WonderCon, I was out in that front area, and they had the big Funko Fun House and shit like that there.
Understand? Yeah.
Yeah. And, there was all the exclusives, and you could hear screaming and shouting coming up from all day. From there all day.
Shouting for whether it's murdering people?
No, that's just like there's constantly like a master of ceremonies on a stage whipping people into a frenzy over Pops.
Their new exclusive that they're going to reveal.
So, anyways, I'm out front, and there's this mom and a dad with 3 big bags. Like, the bags are like this tall. Like 4
Funko
foot
Pops.
of Funko stuff, right?
From that place? Okay.
The daughter is bitching and whining and complaining, which is probably fine. She's a child. But she's like complaining and upset because she's not doing anything she wants to do, and she doesn't care about these Funko Pops.
So this is the parents not buying for her, they're buying for them.
Well, and this was my favorite part. The woman reaches into one of the bags and pulls one out and goes, "Who is this?"
Okay.
Literally, they don't know what they're buying. They're literally just buying it to go home and flip it. And that's the shit that I hate.
This is Beanie Babies.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know. These people don't even know what they're buying. They just know Funko objects worth money, ? Buy them all. Go home and put them on eBay. And
God. Can we end this humanity experiment? Can we just end it? We don't ever learn our lessons.
It's something that I feel like has gotten better at Comic-Con. Because Hasbro doesn't do as many of their crazy exclusives anymore. If they do, they're not as popular. But yeah, you still see the people who walk around with big bags of exclusives. But right now, it's almost always Funko, is what I see. People with these big Funko bags full of shit they don't know.
This is the beginning of the end, then.
What is this?
I thought it would happen.
Why'd you buy it if you don't know what it is?
And the daughter's just like, hey, I want to see like a fucking, I don't know, SpongeBob.
The daughter wanted to do fucking anything. She was like clearly not interested in the Pops.
Plastic.
And why would a kid be? They're not a fucking toy. A kid can't play with a fucking Pop.
And I saw a couple of tweets like, well, they should have given them away to like kids in need. Kids don't want to play with that. You can't play with it. Well, you can't really play with it. You just play them.
They should have found something to do with it besides
melt
fucking
them down and recycle them. You can do that.
I feel like there's a way to donate those and still have them be a tax write-off, but they don't want the appearance of them as unwanted. They want them to appear as something that's worth money and too valuable to be given away. It's gross all the way around.
I mean, say what you want about the Cabbage Patch Kids crazy. Kids play with that and love them. Like that, kids like them.
Oh, sure. And I mean, as silly as it was, Tickle Me Elmo was a toy that a kid would play with.
Kids played with that stuff. No one plays with this
NES
shit.
Classics, something that you would hook up to a TV.
People played it.
And, even if it's like a rare, like, statue or something, like, they do 300, like, my fucking Macho Man is, like, of 300.
Sure.
And, like, okay, that's cool. It's a unique thing. It's different. But, like, the Funko Pops, like I said, once you have 1 or 2 around your house, it starts to get weird.
I've been gifted. All the ones I have been gifted. Vonnie gifted me a nice Peter Parker one.
Vonnie gifted me a few back in the day that I like and I still have.
Big Lebowski.
She gave me my Alien.
I have a few G.I. Joe ones.
And my Predator.
I think I have a Zartan. We'll get into G.I. Joe in a minute. Those intros running long, but it's actually not running that long. Whatever. It's Super Shell.
It's fine.
We're allowed to run long.
We do this once in a blue moon.
Zartan. I think I have a Destro one. I have a Baroness Mighty Mugs. Mighty Mugs missed the boat because they were the new hotness for like a year.
I didn't like Mighty Mugs.
I have a custom Google 13.
I know, which is cool.
Why do I don't have it out here?
No, that's really cool.
That's one of a kind, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, you can't donate them. The logistics of getting them out, that's not even the issue. Like whatever, they're a soulless company, but kids would not want them. That's the other problem. They would look at it like, I can't play with this. It's not going to enrich them looking at this shit. Oh, I'm going to stack them to the wall, Ian. Come into my Funko Pop room, I guess. Coming from a guy who has shelves of games that are somehow better than that. Well, they are. So there's some value.
It's just, I get it. It's weird and people can make fun of me, but like walking around WonderCon, I had a great time, but you always hit those like 2 rows where it's just, it's identical pop booths. $7, pick a random pop. Buy 3, get 1 pops. We've got chases. Come in and see our chases pops. And it's like, this could have been 2 more rows dedicated to fucking anything else.
Chases?
Yeah.
So you got to chase for these. They're not like baseball cards that you can stack in a, like small. These are big things that take up space.
Well, I'm not sure that it would be a chase necessarily. There's rare ones and exclusives. And I think they like, when they do randoms, they'll throw like a rare one in there and call it a chase or something like that.
I cannot wait for the bottom to fall out of this. Like, it sounds like it's starting to happen. I hope.
I saw way less people buying them this year at WonderCon than I did last year. There was a guy who was doing like, all my pops are, this grade rare or better, and it's $10 for a random one, and you can pick your genre. And like, no one was going over there.
The wholesale on these must be so low, because I even seen people at the swap meet that must have 200 of them at the swap meet.
No, what it is they throw so much at the fucking wall
to see what
sticks, but they make hundreds and thousands of these things.
How many different ones are you thinking? There's thousands?
Well, no, I'm just saying, well, there is at this point.
Sure.
But I'm saying they throw everything on the wall, they take a risk on a character, they probably can't do any less than a few thousand of them. And you know what? If,
you talking about quantity?
Yeah.
Oh, there's probably more than
but I'm saying thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
So if fucking Ted from the background of sitcom number 4 in his variant in his variant button-up blue shirt isn't the fucking gold mine that they thought it was, yeah, they probably wholesaled those out, the unpopular characters, to fucking people for like pennies on the dollar.
Now I'm gonna look up, because Ted McKinley was in one of my favorite 80s movies, Revenge of the Nerds. Is there Revenge of the Nerds Funko Pops? Like, it's 50-50 when you search for these things, that they would pop up, right? Speaking of pop, like, is there one? Like, there's Golden Girls one. I know that. I know there's Golden Girls ones.
Okay, I just looked at, like, literally just typed something, and I typed in Tron Funko, and of course that exists.
Of course. They license everything. They're the only game in town, probably, at this point. Mighty Mugs don't exist anymore, do they?
No.
They're probably gone. They lost out.
King of Queens Pops. Let's see if those exist.
There you go. Is there?
There. It looks like a custom, but yes. Yeah, so that doesn't count.
Well, you know what won't end up in landfills? Stuff at ultimatenintendo.com. That stuff will not. You got certain NES and Super Nintendo guidebooks. I made Ian laugh. That's a good one. RBI baseball stickers out the wazoo. Pins. We got shirts for sale there at ultimatenintendo.com. Well, I am rusty with this stuff. I'm on Twitch every Wednesday, twitch.tv/ContraCode. Ian will not be there.
Unlikely.
No one's doing Cameo anymore because the pandemic has ended. Cameo.com/PatContry. I mean, they are. It was hot and heavy for like a year, and then it sort of trailed off.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, with you and anyone, you start doing it, and the amount of people who really want it probably do it up front, and they get it out of the way. But I also haven't really seen anyone pitching it or pushing it lately.
I still get people that be like, hey, you remember when did I propose this for someone?
Yeah, you said you did.
Holy shit, did I really do that in one of my cameos? That's like a life-altering thing I did.
And then someone wanted you to show feet as a joke.
A joke?
Yeah. It'd be funny, Pat.
I mean, it's fun just for me. Okay, that's fine. And then Justin Silverman sent me a wiki feet where I'm on that, by the way. Because I remember I used to go to conventions wearing sandals.
Oh, God.
There's a wiki feet thing, for the people that like guys' feet, and I'm on that site, by the way. I did not make that, but so I'm no longer wearing sandals at conventions. I stopped doing anyway because now my feet hurt more. That I'm over 40. My right foot's been bothering me on and off for a while, but it's fine. I'll be at SoCal Gaming Expo May 6th to 7th in beautiful Ontario, California. Ian has prior obligations.
I will not be there.
He'll be off doing his own stuff, but I will be there. I'll have a panel, and I might also be giving out $5,240 of my money potentially to Larry Bundy if he can come and claim and show proof of his claims about me that he's spread about me throughout the internet for the past 10 years, that I didn't write my own book and took all the credit, that I'm a hard drug abuser, and all the other fun ditties that
you have afflictions,
that I used him to get famous somehow. All these and more at SoCal Gaming Expo. I have not heard back from Larry, but I'm sure he's getting his passport right now in order. But the good news is about when you shine light on awful people, you get the stories of people that they send you saying, well, it's not good that this person might have done bad things to other people, but I've gotten stories from people. But people are saying, yeah, I'm sorry I supported this person. One of those people sent me the limited Larry Bundy plush. Isn't this lovely? right here. This guy can sit right here.
No, he can't.
All right, just for the remainder of the intro. Just for the intro. Oh, right there. That was I guess the makeshift plush that came out right there. That I couldn't refuse a gift of Larry right there. Not from Larry, but there you go. Right there. Something else that happened, Ian. I'm a patron of the arts now, officially.
Okay.
I am a... That was a very skeptical... okay.
What have you done?
I am a production partner for the off-Broadway parody Star Trek musical, Con, the musical, in New York City. It's going to be starting May 4th for a limited run.
Woo!
They just revealed the cast the other day. Tickets start at $25.
Well, that's reasonable.
I mean, it's New York City. I mean, that's like a bargain. That's what a cup of coffee
That's
costs.
a Big Mac and fries in New York City.
It probably is, to be honest. Go to coniscoming.com. I think that's what that goes to. Don't misspell that. You might get another website. Performances begin May 4th at the Players Theater on McDougal Street in New York City. And it's written and composed by our pal, Brent Black of Brental Floss fame. And it's interesting about the structure. It makes perfect sense because the structure of the play is that it's Data.
Player musical.
What?
Player musical.
Player musical. What do you mean?
Oh, musical and a play are different.
It's a musical. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, you called it a play. Give it the credit it deserves. It's a musical.
It's Data inputting his version on the holodeck of what he thought happened with the con stuff. So it's a perfect structural setup. So it also is like a send-up parody of musical tropes.
That's fun.
And that's why Brent to me is a genius, because like that's a perfect setup for this. So again, it starts on May 4th. They just announced the cast the other day. And yeah, it'd be nice if you can help support us, help support Brent, but also me. That would be nice as well. So come out. Get a ticket from there. I hope to get out there and watch it. That would be nice.
That would be.
But people have been asking me for free tickets. My family, I'm like, I don't think it works that way. I can't like we have to recoup costs. I can't just like. It's the theater owner too. Like they have a minimum they get. I've gotten a crash course in how Broadway works and off Broadway. It's very difficult to have a successful run of something because there's a lot of obstacles in place.
This is a fun time for me to say my newest thing, and that's stop asking indie devs for review codes.
Is that the same sort of thing?
Yes, it is.
People ask me.
They are small-time developers, and if you can't afford a $5 to $15 game to write a review that's going to make you money, then fuck off.
Has this happened to someone you've seen lately? Or
I just don't like the practice. I see it online every once in a while where like an indie, like I understand like big companies, it's fine, but like an indie dev or something will announce their game and someone will be like, let me get it on the review code. And it's like, this game's going to be $9.99, motherfucker. Just buy the fucking game.
It's like a million sub YouTuber or something like that.
Yeah. Like it just, it drives me fucking nuts. Pay for a fucking game.
So pay for a ticket, please.
Buy a ticket.
I have no. I literally in my agreement, I get 2 comp tickets set aside for me and a guest, and I get access. I think I get access to a rehearsal that I won't be around for, and I can go to the party, the closing party. There you go.
Probably no access to the green room, but maybe like an olive or taupe room.
A taupe? What's a taupe room?
I'm making it up.
Tapenade? What are we talking about?
I'm saying it's a dark gray brown color. I'm saying you don't get access to the green room, but you would get access to a lesser.
There's no green room with a musical. I think it's just backstage and people changing costumes out.
Man, I'm making a silly joke.
Okay, we're moving on. Speaking of silly, wrestling is really silly.
God,
WWE put on WrestleMania, and from what I heard, people were really fucking pissed.
Yeah, it looked awful. And I have to be careful here. I'm going to probably need to starve us a little oxygen. Otherwise, we'll tend to go on a little too long for wrestling. You and I can get into wrestling if we're not careful.
Sure, we used to cover WrestleMania. It was like half hours.
Yeah, and we would do it for way longer than we needed to. I'm always afraid to talk about wrestling because I'm afraid I'm going to get going. So it's been sold to Endeavor.
Who owns UFC as well.
Which owns UFC.
They bought UFC, I think it was at this point 2-3 years ago.
21 billion.
Combined company.
Combined, yes. WWE had a valuation of 9.3 billion. Endeavor will have a 51% controlling interest with the remaining 49 spread across shareholders.
Space Shuttle Endeavor.
So, I mean, there it is.
There it is. Case closed.
I mean,
Well,
the Saudis didn't get it.
That's good. So that is good. Anyone
Saudi Arabia didn't. Yeah, there's no ownership there.
So that's good. So from what I hear from my source that might have been at these events, and the Raw afterwards was supposedly the Raw after WrestleMania was fucking.
Moving on to the Raw, yes, or the Raw or the Mania.
The Raw after Mania was supposedly abysmal. 20 minutes of wrestling in a 3-hour show.
Really?
See what you will about AEW's product. You get a lot of good wrestling in a 2-hour show.
At the end of the fucking day, that's what you want from a wrestling show.
You get like an
wrestling.
hour of good wrestling usually in an AEW show. Like you'll get like a 4-star, sometimes 4.5-star match almost every week. Like they might do too much in those matches. Jim Cornette will complain, I do too much. But at least you're getting some quality for viewing. You know what I mean?
They're trying. It may not be what you like, but they're trying.
It may be too much. They might be risking their lives too much. I see that.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. But the point is, okay, this is what happened. Cody Rhodes was a big sign last year. Big signing. Why'd you laugh?
Big.
Debuts WrestleMania last year. Huge, like goosebumps, like made him look like a star.
I wish I liked him more because that was awesome.
It was a great moment. It was a great moment.
It was just really cool to see.
He beats cleanly Seth Rollins, who's great, going to be a Hall of Famer. Even though what?
I like Seth.
Yeah, he might have helped end Sting's career in WWE, but that's fine. He apologized for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the buckle bomb. And
yes, yeah.
Which deprived us of a Sting Undertaker match, but whatever.
I thought you meant like he got him fired or released or something.
No, he ended his in-ring
yes.
career. Then he came back in AEW, but he's older. He's like 60 now. But he still wrestles. He still wrestles every once in a while. He did that weird fucking jump off the balcony. It's like, Sting, don't die.
Sting, what are you doing?
Retired. Come on, we love you, Sting. Anyway, so he did that match. Then he got injured. He tore his fucking pec working out and worked the match with like half his boob falling off and beat Seth Rollins again in a steel cage or Hell in the Cell. Then he had to go out. He comes back at Royal Rumble. Huge ovations. He wins Royal Rumble. Everyone knew that.
Right.
And then WrestleMania comes to go against the unified champion because there's only one champion outside of two.
And lost.
After all that build up, and from what I heard, the air was sucked out of the arena, and people were like, they couldn't believe it.
Roman Reigns sucking the air out of the arena on WrestleMania weekend for years.
I wouldn't even blame him because he's been doing a good job as a heel, but
people are tired of seeing him win. Doesn't matter if he's doing a good job as a heel.
WrestleMania is supposed to be the culmination of your storyline for the year. Bottom line, that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's traditionally been. It's not. It was always Hogan goes over Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. Austin overcomes the corporation and beats The Rock for the title. You get the end of the storyline. The hero wins 95%. Yes, there's been some WrestleManias.
I mean, recent WrestleManias but okay, I guess Roman was face for a bunch of those, but I just
for some of them. But the point is this: Roman Reigns has been champion now for like 2.5 years or whatever it's been. It's been a long time.
It's not even just his championship reign. It's the fact that he always goes over at WrestleMania, and it's not not a surprise or interesting anymore. There's lots of problems, is all I'm saying.
They have not built anyone up. That's a problem.
Sure.
And now they have not built up Cody. It doesn't matter if you like the guy or not. It's best for business to build other stars. You use your stars to build other stars. That's Wrestling 101. And I'm not in the business, and that's why it annoys me. It should be common fucking sense that your face goes over at WrestleMania. I don't care if he loses the belt a month or two from now. You've built him up to another level to make everyone more money. Even if Cody wins 5 months from now, next year, it will never be as important as the match he just had.
Yeah.
Like, this is common sense shit. And they defended it afterwards. They have a press conference, because it's weird, because they basically don't pretend there's kayfabe anymore. But Triple H is like, well, this is not the end of the journey. It's like a chapter. It's fucking WrestleMania. It's the end of it. It's the last page of the book. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. I'm so glad I don't watch anymore. So glad.
And you could try for a long game 2-year thing, but you can't do that.
You
can't. You certainly can't do it with Reigns. People are just sick of it. People are sick of it.
So what do they do on the WrestleMania afterwards?
I don't know.
Cody Rhodes comes out. They're gonna do a tag match between Brock and Cody versus Roman Reigns and one of his crew. I forget his name. Not one of the Usos. One of the other guys in the family there. And then Brock turns on Cody, end of Raw.
Oh, I heard.
Does like a near 10-minute elongated beatdown of him, and the crowd doesn't know what to do. They're like, "What are we watching?" And that's right here. Like people were honestly, like legitimately in the arena, they were pissed off. Not pissed off that they wanted to see Cody come back. Pissed off as in pissed off, turned off on the product. And that's after they just sold it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't fuck what I say. Vince has made billions of dollars. Back in power. Fuck it all.
Yeah, I definitely don't understand what did they think was going to happen with this double whammy?
I don't fucking know. I have no idea. So now Brock's going to fight Cody. Let me put it this way. Cody better beat Brock, because if not,
then Cody's dead.
He's dead.
Like
he's
many other fucking stars they've tried to bring up, like Dolph Ziggler, like Cesaro, like anyone who fucking had any chance of being a good wrestler.
Yeah, any good heat at all, then you kill him off, you extinguish it. You throw fucking water on top. Yeah. Braun Strowman. They didn't. He was really hot for a while.
Oh, no, he was hot.
They did not pull the trigger.
He wasn't my style.
No, I'm just saying, but he was hot, and they did not pull the trigger.
They did not.
He should have went clean over.
They didn't pull the trigger with Bray Wyatt.
Nope. He should have.
They had many opportunities to pull the trigger with Bray Wyatt.
They waited too late. Then they came back later. But at that point,
well, that's the thing. Like, if you wait too long, that's the thing that they don't seem to understand. If you wait too long, this is not an eternal thing. Like, you have to give these people the victories when they matter. Yes. Otherwise, people are going to find it hard to get behind them.
Yes.
Vonnie loved Sami Zayn, and just like, she like got turned off on the idea of the character because they kept making him lose fucking everything in NXT, and they brought him up and he didn't do anything.
Well, that's supposedly been the only good thing the past year.
I've heard that his recently stuff has been good.
His storyline with Roman Reigns and that stuff's actually been really good with Jey Uso. So it's be like really like good, like actually well written and planned out. And that culminated with him getting back.
But it took him fucking forever to get there. Like they don't ever strike when the iron's hot.
They've rarely done it. Honestly, the past 10 years, the only person they did it with properly was AJ Styles. When he was rising up, they had him go over, get the title. It was proper. He was a good worker over with the crowd. But like most of the time, they haven't done it.
They started out okay with Daniels, and then they fucking...
Well, he got injured.
The injury.
That's but they were dragged to that.
Yes, they were.
They were literally.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they didn't start that way. They finally got.
They put him with the fucking Wyatt family, and everyone turned on it and was cheering for him. They try to distinguish Daniel Bryan, probably the most popular wrestler of the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Him and Punk probably 1 and 2. There you go. And Punk's come back and he's gone again, because he can't get along with anyone in AEW.
He's not that fucking good of a wrestler.
Oh no, he's old. He's old now and done. He can still put together a match, but he was never athletic to begin with.
I saw him live in Ring of Honor, and I was not fucking impressed. My buddy, the whole week ahead of it, was like, "You're gonna love this dude. This dude's awesome." And then I fucking saw him, and he was some fucking joke with a Pepsi tattoo. And I was like, "Fuck this guy."
Well, he's not athletic. He's just not. And that showed it in the UFC. He's not athletic. He couldn't throw a punch in UFC. He's not an athlete, but he got by enough, which is fine.
Also, straight edgers tend to be fucking assholes.
Oh, I don't know any straight edgers in real life, really, but
probably a good.
So Ian
I'm sorry if you are. I've met a lot of very, very bad straight edgers.
Why they try to put yourself above them? That was actually when CM Punk did that, the Straight Edge Society. That was actually really interesting with Luke Gallows and the shaved head gal. Remember that? That was actually interesting when they did that back in the day. The Straight Edge Society. No, Punk's a great character in wrestling, but in ring. He tells a story well. He's just not an athlete, and now he's old and getting hurt.
Did he ever do the Pepsi plunge in WWE? I don't think he ever did.
I don't even know what that move is. So
it's off like it's a shitty fucking move.
He does. He would pay homage to Macho Man, do the Macho Man elbow. He did that a lot. What else is happening here, Ian? Want to talk about this SNES mini crap?
Apparently MJF does the Pepsi plunge now. Anyways, so there was a weird Super Nintendo mini story. Basically
on the news, on NBC News.
On NBC News. Basically, talking about these there's always those bootleg like SNES minis and Nintendo minis with thousands of games.
They sell them at the swap meet.
Right. They say they're high definition, but they're use not. RCA outs.
There's an HDMI adapter in there or whatever. It's shit.
Maybe, if you're even that lucky. But they apparently found some recently that loaded with the pirate games. They found ones with racist and sexual content.
ROM hacks.
Yeah, basically ROM hacks of them, and it's not funny, but like it's interesting to see the disconnect here with some of these people. Like, okay, so one of the big ones they talk about is a Jungle Book ROM, where there's the normal Jungle Book game. It's the NES version.
Sure.
And then there's one where Mowgli's like naked, running around naked. And the one woman's like, so we contacted Disney about this, but we didn't get a response back.
Yeah, what's Disney going to say? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, they don't know how the world works. They're not. And it's funny because these are people that are, they have 5-year-olds. These are probably 30-year-olds, 34-year-olds, 35-year-olds. And I guess they weren't around for some of this crap that we saw, or they didn't realize that these things existed.
And I mean, to their credit, not a lot of people know about ROM hacks and stuff like that. I don't think they realize how easy it is to take Mowgli's clothes off and put him in an NES game. You can ROM hack anything.
Sure. But I guess they also didn't realize they were buying pirated products.
No, and that's another thing. Like,
they had to have, right? Because there's no official Nintendo insignias in any of this shit.
So that's an interesting point that I wanted to bring up. You used to be able to make the argument that people just didn't know. But now we're talking about people our age, and honestly, by the looks of this video, people younger than us.
Yeah, the guy doing the news report's like 30 years old at most.
People, who grew up with video games and know video games. I would like to think that most people of our generation and younger who grew up with this understand like how easy it is to just look at, like, okay, you remember the Super Nintendo Classic coming out for $80. This is $30 being sold at a shady kiosk. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, these are at like these electronic stores probably in New York City or whatever, and there's probably tons of illegal products.
One was literally like an outdoor kiosk.
Yeah, you're gonna have like your Game Boy with 1,000 ROMs next to it that you can get in AliExpress. Like, this is what these people aren't going to Walmart and buying these. So they can't be shocked. I'll just say that there's some weird shit going on. It's still obviously wrong. This stuff's included, but like they can't be shocked that could be a possibility.
There's a screenshot here of I believe that's Mick and Mac from Mick Kids. And they're laying on the floor, and all their clothes have just been changed to skin color. And they put a little heart over what I imagine would be his butt. And he's holding the book, and it says porn instead of whatever.
Who's doing these ROM hacks?
Probably like 15-year-olds who are bored, dude. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is absolutely something. Someone who is a teenager who discovers ROM hacking is like, I'm going to make everyone naked. It's just a fact. That's what they're going to do. Did you see
the go to 155 in the video? You can see the kind of humorous menu screen action game. It's like a Wii version of Luigi.
Oh, yeah.
Like a Paper Mario Luigi.
Sports game,
shooting game,
racing.
It's Mike Tyson from Intergalactic Boxing. Sport game, a Kunio Kun character, right? It's just funny. It doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
Here. They talk to some of these parents who like.
Oh, but sorry, never mind.
That one lady's like 27 years old. Like, these are young parents,
and
they're acting shocked about this. And it's like, come on. Well, one was on Walmart.com, but third-party sellers can sell on Walmart.com. So they removed this. But this shit's on Amazon. Yeah. Amazon doesn't know all the shit on their website. Anyone can list a new item on Amazon and start selling it. It's pretty bad, some of this stuff.
When you buy bootleg goods, you get bootleg stuff.
And then the guy, this young reporter said there was some sicker stuff than what we saw didn't make the segment. Okay, now we're getting to weird territory here. I don't know how they altered Mickey Mouse Capade. I don't want to know. It's just weird shit.
So, none of this is good, and racist content's definitely awful. The nudity I've seen has basically just been, they changed the palettes to all be the same shade as the skin. So
like the shorts, Mowgli's shorts become the same color as the skin?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just stupid. It's fucking dumb. Talk about our friend Jirard?
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Well, which do we want to talk about first? Preserved play on April 15th and 16th? Or do we want to talk about him buying every Wii U and 3DS eShop game?
That was going to be a segue, Ian. You gave away.
Which one?
In the order that's on the document. Jeez. Ready that, Rusty?
Whatever.
All right. Our friend Jirard put out a video that was clickbaity. I would think he would even admit. Purchased every every game on the Wii shop, and Wii U shop, and on the 3DS
I honestly
shop.
feel like that's kind of genuine bait because he legitimately, I mean,
he did it, but
he did it, and people are going to click on that.
I mean, it's got 1 million views. It happened like a week and a half ago. I talked to Jirard about it. He said he's gotten some blowback from some idiots in the retro game community. They're like, "Whoa, you can emulate all this
About
shit."
3 weeks.
The point isn't about him acquiring this stuff. It's the lengths he went to do it, and the fact that he had to go through all these lengths to do this, and that the shops were even shutting down. Like there was a message to this video.
It's a beacon that's shining light on an issue.
Yeah,
it's not so much even, and there is something interesting to be said about having that all on one account for easy access. But yes, obviously you can emulate.
Sure. So they got a bunch of gift cards. Those humorous, him and his crew trying to buy gift cards, and their cars getting canceled. Credit card. They found a bunch of, I guess Home Depot carries gift cards for Nintendo. I had no idea.
Nice.
And like go to a Lowe's, I guess, and find this shit. So it came out to about $20,000 combined dollars spent on
$9,673 for 866 Wii U games, $13,118 for 1,547 3DS games.
I forget. Does that include like the first party stuff that wasn't available at all, or just the digital stuff only? The digital only stuff.
It includes DSiWare and Virtual Console games, as well as DLC for dozens of titles.
Okay, but the point is like, is he rebuying first party stuff that you can also get on physical version? Or, probably not.
Oh no, I feel like that total would be much higher.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Probably.
Oh yeah, if you count all of it, there's way more than 1,500.
Okay, so this is the digital only stuff.
Yes.
So
the stuff that was just available on those
gotcha.
stores.
That was going to be gone after that date. That makes sense because it would have been like in the hundreds of thousands, probably paying $50, $40 each for these games.
Yeah, especially because they're never on sale. The full price ones.
No, they are.
Once in a blue moon.
Switch is doing sales. We talked about this controversy. God, my hair is poofy as fuck right now. We like tuck it back in. I'm like tucking my hair back. It's time for a haircut. So it's great that they did this because it brings up the issues that Ian and I might know about. People of our ilk might know about, but the common person, the person that buy a bootleg Super Nintendo Classic, they may not know about this stuff. They may not know that like these
not
games
everyone is as deeply ingrained in this stuff as we are. Jirard is a person with a large reach, and it's not going to just be the hardcore people who follow preservation and eShops opening and closing. And a lot of these a lot of like the people that Jirard can reach, a lot of them might go on to new systems. They might play a bit more. I'm not saying that everyone's casual. I'm just saying they might play a bit more casually. They might not even know these stores shut down because they've already moved on to the next system. So it's interesting probably for them to learn about.
And honestly, there might be some lapsed gamers that weren't aware these shops were closing. Yeah. Maybe they're last. Yeah. Maybe they're last.
That's what I mean. Like people who don't pay attention to everything as much as we do.
So you think they said it was 1,547 3DS games. That includes, you said, like the WiiWare and DSi stuff and all the weird DLC and
so it's all DLC. Yeah, it's all DLC Virtual Console games and then the DSiWare / eShop stuff.
1.2 terabytes.
That's it
for the Wii U. That's a ton. 1.2 terabytes.
I feel like that's less than. And
200 for 866 Wii U games. Wii U games. I mean, most of them weren't going to be that big, probably. No? Okay. And 267 gigs for the 3DS games, which obviously are really tiny. They're tiny. They're not that
gigs? Big. 273?
267 gigs for 1,500 games.
I'm still surprised, I guess. But you're right. Those are going to be way smaller. That's odd.
Yeah, because like the Wii U games don't have a bunch of like full motion video shit and things like that. So there was a lot of roadblocks. For example, one of the goofiest ones, you watched the little video, one of the goofiest ones was on your account, you can only have $250 of credit at one time. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just like, we'll just throw in all 20,000, we'll just go to town. No, we had to buy a few games.
Scratch off another card.
Put the more code in. And I forgot why they decided to buy the cards. Obviously, it's more dramatic to buy all these cards and stack them up versus putting your credit card. But I think they want to get their credit cards canceled, by saying, I want to buy $20,000 worth of, that would probably
Sure.
trigger
Also,
shit.
depending on when he did it, there was a cutoff date where you could no longer add credit to it.
Oh, that makes
with
sense,
a
too.
card. You had to do it with a
With your
couldn't
credit
do it with a credit card. You had to do it with a gift card.
Sure.
So depending on how long he thought that was going to take, that probably. I mean, he says right here, or it says in this article, 328 days to accomplish, and it required 464 eShop cards, and was funded by various sponsorships.
Yeah, he gets sponsored on video, so you know. And then he said he's donating the he had to use like obviously several cards to save it on.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to donate it all to the Video Game History Foundation.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is nice. I mean, here's the thing about this. I mean, in some way, at least one person probably bought one of these games on the shop and all DLC. But it's the collective, making sure it gets all in one spot.
Because there's as we know, companies don't always do the best job of preserving their stuff.
Sure.
And yeah, there are people who probably bought at least, 10, 20 people who bought, some of these games. But do they have their 3DSs anymore? Are they functional? Have they shut down the account?
And plus, some of these, I think one was like a music game where it's like each DLC was one track for $1. So it's like now you got to find the person that spent the $1 on track 37 or whatever.
Sure.
It's like that's the problem. Yeah, so it's good you have that, but I'm sure you can go to some archive out there and that has every like 99% of the 3DS games for download. I mean, that shit's out there. There's a lot of us out here, but no, it's good stuff. And now, Ian, what were you saying about an event coming up?
There's just this event coming up
Yeah,
on the 15th and 16th. Preserved Play. We don't have a link here for the info, though, do we?
Well, they raise money for the Video Game History Foundation.
We do.
They stream on Twitch. Kelsey, our pals Kelsey and Frank will be there with Jirard live with other guests, I believe. I believe they do giveaways. No, I don't have a link there, though.
I'm trying to find like the exact hours for it. Can't find it. But I know they usually do like pretty large chunks during the day. They don't go 24. They don't. They sleep.
They do sleep?
Oh yes, I'm fairly certain they sleep.
You're going to criticize them? How you criticize me for sleeping?
Because it didn't start off as something where they were staying up 24 hours. Preserved Play dates times.
Well, go on Twitter and watch.
Yeah,
you'll see in Twitch. Just follow the completionists for more there. This is an interesting thing for an hour-long super show intro, longest intro ever, by the way. I think at this point, the giant Donkey Kong cabinet at the Strong Museum of Play. They're making a giant 20-foot high Donkey Kong cabinet, which is awesome. That's going to
be awesome. I love the Strong Museum. That place is amazing. Sorry, I lost my notes.
Aluminum frame, MDF fiberboard. Obviously, yeah, you're not going to be making it out of oak. Players will stand at a pedestal beneath the towering screen and use a regular-sized control panel that replicates the original joystick and buttons. What do you mean regular-sized control panel? Oh, you're not going to use a big joystick and a button that you have to slam your fist on? That's what I was thinking. That'd be great.
They do have a Tetris there that uses a very large joystick.
Because I just think of the awful joysticks movie from '83 with Joe Don Baker,
which I've never seen and
totally
barely
awesome
even know about.
Video game. It's Porky's with Pac-Man and Namco licensing. It's bizarre.
This does look awesome.
Bizarre.
So I'm looking at it. So it says that it's going to be 20 feet high, and it's going to use a 300% large and constructed. Players will sit up and use regular size. Okay.
Yeah, you see the picture.
The mock-up they have there, it doesn't look like a reg. Oh, I see. There's a tinier one in front of it.
He's standing in front of a pedestal.
Okay, I got it. Sorry.
Yeah, and supposedly they've talked to Nintendo about advice about how to do a consultation. And I'm sure Nintendo's just like, just make sure it's accurate. I don't know. What's Nintendo going to say? What is Nintendo going to say? You guys are crazy? Like, how is Nintendo going to contribute? But I'm sure Nintendo thinks it's cool to do that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. If you live over in that area.
Yeah, there's a giant Pong at the National Video Game Museum. There's one there.
Oh, I'm just talking about if you're in Rochester, the Strong Museum of Play is an awesome place to go. If you have a kid, probably even better, but for adults too. It's super cool.
Is there a garbage place at the restaurant there at the museum? Back in the
my good friend Andrew Borman from there would have to tell me when we went. Yes, Bill Gray's had an old school like diner trailer right in the lobby that you could go into, and they had their garbage plates, which I think they call great plates, but whatever, it's a garbage plate. And I think that's one of the best garbage plates you can get because their sauce is fucking kicking.
All right.
But I think they moved it to a different spot now.
All right. We cannot come back with a super show without talking about your freaking garbage plates.
I mean, food in general.